morning. Welcome. Let yourself move around a little bit. You might take a stretch. You might even inspire a yawn or just shift in your seat and make sure that you can be in a place that is comfortable without collapsing and without needing to hold yourself up, without like hovering just off of the floor. Let yourself be supported, feel your contact points, and from there, let there be a reciprocal lift or uprising, like sap in a tree. And you can just notice your state of being, generally what it's like to be you right now. And see if you can do that. It can be challenging, but see if you can do that without judgment or even preference. Can you just observe? Just notice how it is without attaching anything else to that. And feel into your breath. And then we'll just come into a little more awareness of our senses. So we'll start with touch. We'll start with the skin. And for this, just even rubbing your hands, maybe sliding your hands up and down your legs, your thighs, if your thighs are easily within reach. Or you could rub your hands together. You could even do the circling palm meditation movement that we've done, where a light fingertip encircles the perimeter of the palm of the opposite hand. So any way to feel touch, your own touch. You may or may not be lacking in personal contact and touch contact at this time. But certainly there's the possibility of the quality of that, and probably even the quantity of that being affected for many of us. So just giving yourself a little bit of your own loving touch. And then letting that purposeful touch go, and again, just maybe resting the hand somewhere. Noticing the breath again. And then let's shift to our sense of sound. So you may or may not be able to hear that there's some sidewalk concrete work going on down the street right now. And so that might be a little sense of sound that's coming into our meditation. But what I'm thinking of is how in this time it's very likely that we are straining more to hear, whether it's online, whether it's through a mask. I know that I've been out a couple of times in the last week and trying to communicate with someone and thinking I'm saying something very clearly in a reasonable volume. And because of the mask, the person can't hear me. And so I'm having to speak louder. Or if you're online a lot, maybe you're having to speak louder or enunciate more so that you can be heard and understood. So just coming into this sense of sound and the option to take your hands like little cups on either side and listen for a moment. And I'll describe this in case you can't hear me once your hands come up. Just letting your cupped hands completely enclose your ears and letting the sort of hollow sound, the maybe a little bit of ocean sound that might come from that, penetrate deeply into your ear canal, into your eardrum, and have a kind of like soothing, restoring. And you can keep your hands there as long as you like, and then pick up with wherever we are if this feels good. And just let your shoulders and arms be relaxed as possible as we do this. So go ahead now and have your hands over your ears. Relax your shoulders. And just breathe. You can keep your hands there as long as you like, really letting that encasement, that containing of the ears, have this healing, penetrating energy into, rather than your ears having to come out to hear. Feel the channels going in, deeply nourishing and restoring into your skull. When you are ready to release, do it really slowly, really gradually. And let your hands come down. And then just coming back to your breath. And then we'll check in with our eyes. And similarly, using the rim of the palm, we've done this before, to connect around the entire eye socket. And because we are straining to see, we can't see the nonverbals online. We can't see faces through these masks. Our eyes are working so hard to try to perceive. So let your sight soften in, not straining to see anything. And the pressure points, the nerves that run around the eye socket here, have a deeply restoring effect on the nervous system. moving us into a relaxation response rather than a fight or flight response. So, again, this is one you can use through the day. You can stay here as long as you like. This can be really helpful if you're sitting in a chair to prop your elbows on a table and lean slightly forward and let your head really rest into your hands. Let your jaw soften. And let this little container, let your own touch have a healing effect into your sight, into your eyes, into your seeing and perception. And when you're ready, you don't have to be ready now. When you're ready to release this one, again, really gradual, because if you go from total dark and just release your hands really fast, it's a lot of light all at once. That can be really jarring. So gradual, gradual release. And feel your breath again. And just notice, just sort of check in. What's your state of being like? We've soothed 3 senses. How are you feeling right now? So let's check in with the mouth. Not so much the sense of taste, but the mouth in general, which is doing a lot of work these days. Again, enunciating, maybe having to speak more loudly, wanting to be heard. So the first thing is to let the tongue rest completely in the floor of the mouth, the tip of the tongue behind the bottom front teeth. Let the root of your tongue soften down. It might feel like it comes down and forward, or it might just feel like it comes down and it spreads. Let there be space between the bottom jaw and the top jaw. So let the bottom jaw soften down a little bit. Notice if that helps release around your lips, your chin. And then we'll just come into a little bit of massage, fingers on the back corner of the jaw. You could always come up to the hinge of the jaw, which is more just in front of the ear. You can open and close your mouth a few times to find it. So it feels good up there, but it sometimes just feels good down here at the corner or along the bottom edge. Even if you use your thumb underneath your jawline, it can be a little tender in there, but if you can slide from under the chin back on either side, that can help release the tongue a little bit. And then let your hands just hold your face. Just gently holding the sides of your face. And let your jaw be really quiet and soft and heavy. Let the tongue soften down and wide. Let the bottom jaw release. And let that softness even trickle down the vocal cords, down the throat. You can hold your face in this gentle, loving way as long as it feels supportive, as long as it serves you. You can even sneak into the bathroom at some point today and just cradle your face. And then when it's time, gently, gently letting that go, letting your hands come down, feeling your breath. And then lastly, sense of smell, which is such a powerful sense. I encourage you to use scent, essential oils or fresh herbs, or even when you're cooking, spices and the scent of the flavors that you're cooking, just being more aware of enjoying those scents, those fragrances. Um, for now, let's give our noses, our sinus passages, and even into our lungs a little bit of love, having to, having a little restriction inside our masks as we breathe, and not, of course, wanting to feel like we're straining to breathe. Um, letting the breath just now be really soft, completely spontaneous and easy. And we'll do a little massage along the pathway for the lungs. We've done this before, where your thumbs come to either side of the top of the nostril curve, and then you slide down and out along just under the cheekbone and then up to the top of the ear. So I'll show you again. From the top of the curve, down, up, and over the top of the ear. Nostril, under the cheekbone, up, top of ear. So you can do that maybe 8 or 10 times. And just let your face be moved like silly putty. You might feel your nose open up a little bit. Keep your shoulders relaxed, the rest of your face really soft as you do this. And whenever you're done, just letting the hands come down. Noticing your breathing, noticing your state of being. And observing your senses less coming out and more softening in, restoring themselves. Take a couple minutes of quiet here. One thing that might help to remember is that sensory information comes to you. You don't have to go out and get it. So letting this be a few minutes of receptivity. You don't have to reach for anything. You don't have to strain to understand or perceive. Letting the senses be slightly withdrawn, and if something needs to come to you, it will. Jaw soft, eyes soft, ears soft, mouth soft. A poem called Boundaries, Mary Oliver. Boundaries. There is a place where the town ends and the fields begin. It's not marked, but the feet know it. Also, the heart that is longing for refreshment and equally for repose. Someday we'll live in the sky. Meanwhile, the house of our lives is in this green world. The fields, the ponds, the birds, the thick black oaks. Surely they are the invention of something wonderful. And the tiger lilies, and the runaway honeysuckle that no one will ever trim again. Where is it? I ask, and then my feet know it. One jump, and I'm home. If it feels right, your hands, your own touch can come to your body, or your palms can come together. May your senses be refreshed and nourished and soothed. And may you hold your own self precious today. Bowing to you. My friend, it's so good to be with you. Thank you so much for your practice. Let me know how your senses feel, how your state of being is. You can always connect with me on email, michelle@itsallyoga.com. Always love to hear from you.